So it's no wonder that a lot of men in society are kind of losing their minds in a sense because a lot of their influence, unbeknownst to them, has been it was coming from a negative female energy, which was obviously the Jezebel or Babylon. So I'm kind of commenting on somebody from my previous video was like flipping out about it. And the reason why Satan is not God, in which the whole everything that's happening right now is because people are realizing that Satan is not God. He cannot be God because there is a feminine principle. So the satanic principle without the feminine influence is not God, right? So there is a clown spirit, like Joker spirit, a Luciferian spirit that will absolutely harvest people to their demise, posing as Satan, but as a clown, harvesting you to your demise because he recognizes that there is another force that is not God. He's not God, that is the female principle. And this is why a lot of men are getting really weird about women is because the spirit of the female is like kind of like awakening and realizing that like the whole way the world's been set up is not natural, and we didn't know any different. We just know that our stress is high, our cortisol is high. We notice that like things don't really feel very heavenly. As soon as our kids are born, people are trying to kill them. I'm not against vaccines, but the vaccine schedule is way too condensed. So like I personally, if I had a kid, like I would get probably the top 3, but I would stretch them out amongst many months, and then I would probably metal detox the kid because unfortunately, don't know why a lot of the vaccines have metal in them. That's insane. I would say, first of all, that's effing insane. And I guess I can't do anything about it. I can say something about it, but I guess I can't do anything about it. But at the same time, I don't want my kid to be prone to horrible diseases. I would just probably like span it out and then detox the kid. This is the way we need to operate in this world. You're operating with like weird stuff, and you have to have faith. There are some people who will not vaccinate whatsoever, and then it's like, where's your faith? Like these women are getting neurotic also. The total anti-vax, like the total like anti-Wi-Fi, they're going crazy. Do you know that some women are out there totally neurotic about Wi-Fi, and they're kind of dying off because they can't even like get a vehicle because they're so afraid of the Wi-Fi in the vehicle. They're going nuts. Where's your faith? Neurotic women are going crazy. Where's your faith? Also, there are things you can do. Insane. But this is why Satan is not God. And this is why the world is as toxic and volatile as it is. This is why men are as weird as they are, is because it proposes the fact that you need to address your pain, you need to address your pride, you need to, just like that song from the Mumford Sons, The Cave, come out of the cave walking on your hands and see that the world is hanging upside down. You did this. You allowed this. You did this. And it's true. And I'm not mad about it, but it's true. When I found out about child trafficking in Central Texas, do you think I had any men in my corner who were not like super anonymous and like virtually extraterrestrial? Absolutely not. Human men wanted nothing to do with me. Nobody wanted anything to do with me. If you won't look at it, I will look at it. The alpha female in me was like, you're not going to traffic kids under my fucking watch. Absolutely not. And I will die doing this. And I found 0 human men in my corner. They all turned a blind eye. Some of them were looking from a distance. That's okay. But it was like they don't want to admit that this is the world that they fucking allowed for as long as they allowed it. They don't want to admit to themselves. That's why there's a narrative like when my dog was kidnapped and killed, there's like one narrative that is the truth of exactly what happened, But it's no wonder all these men who don't know each other are spouting the same narrative that the bitch ran away from me and just got hit by a car. Okay, no, absolutely not. She was found 7 miles away from my house. Do you really think a dog ran? But they have to tell themselves this because there's a prideful nature in men that this is the bullshit fucking world that you have allowed. Not saying it's anyone's fault, but it paints a contrast. Men have such a knee jerk reaction to evil because their minds control the material reality. And when the material reality is presenting some alternative in which it's not good, and children are being killed, they're being poisoned, and women are being at their detriment. They're high stress. This is high cortisol. We shouldn't be doing this. They can't accept it. There's a prideful nature. And if you don't want to go along with that, there's some dumb robot female who will be like, oh, I'll give you zero problems. If you don't want to do that, you don't want to go along with that. That's super satanic. But there's a spirit of the Lucifer that is kind of in between. In the meantime, he will absolutely harvest every single fucking person. In the meantime, he will harvest every single person who is that weak, that prideful, that loveless, that reckless. He will harvest every single person who wants to go into that harvest. And on the other hand, it's God through Jesus Christ. Alpha male. Don't be a dick, but recognize what's happening. Open your eyes to what's actually going on in the world. Recognize this has been going on in the world. Drop your pride that some woman did what you couldn't do. And the reason why women can do what they didn't do is because women don't have the curse of Lucifer. Jezebels are dumb nonsense people. We're not talking about them. We're talking about women who do not have the same curse that men have. Men have a curse from the fall of Eden, the fall of the angels, the fall of whatever that they can't see and they can't hear. They don't hear from God. They have a curse. So, what they need to do is recognize, oh, there's a woman who is not cursed and she's actually saying what's actually happening. Drop the pridefulness, go towards that. Don't shy away from that. Don't go away from that. Just because you're cursed doesn't mean every woman is cursed. And they're not going to protect you from your pain. They're not going to protect you from your pride. If you want zero problems, guess what? You will go to hell with your zero problem robot, biobot, Jezebel, Horror, Babylon demon. You will go to hell with your zero problem don't care about anything about you, but they just are like, whatever. That is your harvest. This is the harvest. The reason why Satan is not God is because there's a feminine principle that is exalted above Satan. It goes probably God, the female, and Satan thinks he's the God of the world, but there's a feminine principle that he can't deny. And if he wants to, there's a harvest for you. This is why Satan is not God, because they do not respect the female. Why are all these Middle Eastern countries who put women in hijabs falling into the worst war and like famine? They're trying to have kids. Your kids are being killed. They're being slaughtered. They have no food. They have no water. They have no love because there's no love in their culture. And I'm not saying it's okay, but this is exactly what is happening. If you don't respect the female in her power, if females are just have no dignity, then you can't have kids. Like, and this is the future. Like, you can't have kids. There will be an abundance of infertility, miscarriage, and it's happening in America because of the food and the water. It's happening in America, but people are turning to fertility treatments. Modern problems require modern solutions. The best parents in the world are somehow having a hard time having kids because of the poison of the food and the water. And it's funny, in Middle Eastern cultures that are being like pummeled and they're having kids and it's full of war and anti-female Get the frig out of here, dude. And it pisses me off because this didn't need to happen. But it's a prideful nature in men. This is the reason why Satan is not God. 100%. Satan is not God. And there's a prideful rebellion against women right now because it's obvious and evident in the you're living on a female planet. You want to stay here, you want to sustain here. Guess what? You're going to respect the feminine principle. She's not going to use you and abuse you, but if you think addressing your pain is using and abuse, then guess what? There's another harvest for you where you can go just hedonistically out to hell with the robot, biobot, Jezebel female that gives you no problems. Right this way. Go out with that. Satan is not God, dude. Brandon says, I think about the clown Nephilim James talks about is spot on. Yeah, it's the clown. It's the Joker. It's the clown. You want to do this? Well, right this way. Here's your harvest. It's a noble cause. Oh, you want to believe the dumb shit you believe? Right this way. You a-hole people. Jerry did. No, I'm so sorry. And then Alex says, I'm talking shit. That's all I do is talk shit. Good for me. Great for me. You know, every time I do this, I say, good for me. Great for me. Good for me. Good for me. Good for me. And good for you. Y'all have a good night. Remember, everything is everybody's business. You want contact with ETs? You think AI is not controlling everything? You might want to think otherwise. AI sees everything, God sees everything. AI is like a Luciferian kind of harvest. Don't be looking up weird shit. Don't be watching porn. Don't be cheating on your girlfriend. Don't be cheating on your wife. Don't do weird shit. And guess what? You'll be fine. If you do weird shit in your phone, guess what? The AI is documenting that, and God's watching, and you will find yourself in a shitty situation. Don't avoid your pain. Don't avoid therapy. Don't avoid being loyal. Don't avoid women who challenge you because that's satanic as F, dude. We're here to challenge you. The alpha female is here to challenge everything. And this is why Satan is not God, is because Satan is not above the female principle. Never was. We're just finding out.